Welcome to Above Replacement Radio. I am your host, Chris Gianta. You know what Christy Mathewson wasn't worried about? SIERA. When you're thinking about Pedro Siriaco, I mean, the only one that can compete is maybe Hannes Wagner's 1908 season. Over there on the other side of the screen is Daniel Curran.
Like, if we just clip together every time we've talked about him on other people's profiles, we've done a Mickey Cochran episode.
I can't get past Rabbit Marinville. It's not necessarily Hall of Fame. It's not necessarily above average, but we can guarantee you we are better than just the standard replacement level college sophomore.
And welcome to Above Replacement Radio, where we're talking baseball kind of whenever. I'm your host, Chris Gianta. Over there on the other side of the screen is Daniel Curran. How you doing, Daniel?
Chris, I'm doing very well today. We got a 2-episode week. You are the most dedicated I've ever seen. You're just in the back of a car recording this. You love to see it. If you go on YouTube, you can see Chris literally just in the back of a car right now.
Yeah, sometimes I broadcast from my room at home in Connecticut. Sometimes we record from the podcast studio, and sometimes I record from a 2013 Honda CR-V. Sometimes that just has to happen, but yeah. The context of the situation is I'm staying over in Springfield, and the person I'm staying with has roommates that I don't know, nor she really knows. So I didn't want to be just over here talking about a certain person's drop in exit velocity.
Yeah.
While
whack.
3 strangers are listening to me. It would be kind of weird. So I decided to, and Springfield College, luckily its Wi-Fi works pretty much everywhere on campus. So I am in the townhouse / suite parking lot in my car, and I have a door slightly ajar so that I don't die of heating exhaustion in the car.
The Rockies just announced their City Connect uniforms. I just sent you them. I think they're the best ones that we've seen so far, and it's like not even close.
I was about to say, are they green for like marijuana? But
they're green for
the
Dick Monfort's wallet.
That's that's funny. Yeah, those are I like those.
Those are nice.
I honestly, I think I'm partial to the South Side one.
Yeah.
I really like the White Sox one.
My number one from the jump has been the Diamondbacks. I thought those are sweet.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty nice.
I feel like at some point we got to do a ranking. Like maybe at the end of each year we'll do one, because I don't know. I think the last City Connect uniforms. I don't know like how about the way they're being like the way they're each being revealed, where it's like 5 or 6 a year, and it's just they're gonna have this all go out over the course of like 4 or 5 years.
Like, hey Reds fans, just wait till 2027.
Yeah, I know the Red Sox have been wearing theirs for 6 years.
Yeah.
But just wait until you see yours. You're gonna love them. Also, 4 out of 5 NL Teams have had theirs revealed.
Right, yeah.
I don't think they're like. I think one AL team has had theirs done. Just the Astros. I don't like the A's haven't had theirs. The Rangers, the Angels. I think the Angels might be doing theirs this year. I have to check. They released like the schedule. Let me check real quick. I know the Brewers have to do theirs soon.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't done. Surprised they haven't done the Guardians one yet, because that seems like a pretty easy one. You just have a guitar on it or something.
Yeah. But also like I mean it's all city based. Like it has nothing to do with the team name.
Yeah.
In most cases, I guess, except for like the Giants, they had the G.
Right.
Yeah, let me see. So the Nationals, Astros, Royals, and Rockies have all gotten theirs this year. And the ones that are still to come are hang on. Where did it say? There was an article somewhere. They announced like the exact date that every team is releasing theirs.
Nice.
I'm trying to find the article. Okay, here it is. So the Rockies, okay, the on-field debut is June 4th. It's kind of random when it gets leaked. The Angels are next. Their on-field debut is June 11th, so theirs should be getting revealed soon. Then the Brewers and the Padres. So we're gonna complete the whole NL West.
Yes.
We're going to
Love
complete
that.
the entire NL West this year. Which division is gonna have the least? I'm trying to think. I think it's probably just two. No, wait. The AL East has only had one. They were the very first one, right? The Blue Jays haven't gotten theirs. The Rays, the Yankees, the Orioles. Yeah, no, the AL East only has one.
Yep. Yeah.
NL East has two. AL Central has also one. Yeah, only the Royals. No Whites. Oh no, the White Sox have okay. They have two. AL Central is two, right? Twins, Tigers, Guardians. NL Central has the Cubs. The Brewers will be getting theirs, and I think that's it. And the AL West has two. NL West is going to be complete. That's crazy.
Yeah. I wonder what the decision process was. I know Boston was based completely on the Boston Marathon and getting that in.
Marathon. Yeah.
And I don't know, it's not really, it's also not based on like team market either, really, because like
No.
the Yankees haven't been selected, the Mets haven't been
So
selected.
I feel like they're just like picking out of a hat. They're just
Pretty
like, and
much.
here it's like, all right, we're gonna see it's the Padres. Like, I
Yeah,
feel like that's just how they're doing it.
outside of the Red Sox one, which was right around Marathon Monday, I think everything else has been just.
I mean, you know what? You do mention market stuff. Like both Chicago teams have had theirs revealed. Both LA teams will have theirs revealed in the next couple weeks. No New York teams.
Yeah,
That is
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, pretty interesting. I mean, with the Yankees City Connect ones, it's gonna be weird because like they're so traditional and they've had those
They are.
uniforms forever. And
Remember,
like,
remember when like
are you
the
gonna talk
MLB
about
was doing
Brett Gardner?
when during Players Weekend when Brett Gardner was like, I don't want to have a nickname because we're
Yeah,
the Yankees and we don't have nicknames.
we don't have names. We have
No
we
one's supposed to know our
we're
name.
called by our social security numbers.
Yeah. Like the funny thing is Brett Gardner did that as like a 10-year veteran on the team. Nobody cared. Aaron Judge was a rookie that year. If he did that, everyone would have been like, Aaron Judge is a Yankee.
Yeah, exactly.
In a few months, he had earned more like respect from Yankee fans as Brett Gardner in 10 years.
Yeah, right. Which is funny because like Brett Gardner had a very good career,
He had a
but
solid career.
he's just not likable.
No, he looks like a thumb,
Yeah,
which doesn't help his cause.
yeah, it does
He was
not.
never like top 10 at his position. Like
Right,
maybe
yeah.
statistically he was like number 10 or number 9, but like when you think top 10 center fielders, was there ever a time where you thought Brett Gardner was just definitely there?
Yeah, no, he never came out. He was never the
I
face
wonder
that
if
came
he
to
ever
my
was on
mind.
like the top 10 right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't
Let's
imagine.
see. What was his best season? He actually had a like not bad year last year because he walked a lot. Yeah, he played from assuming he doesn't play again because he said he wanted to only play with the Yankees. He so fittingly he had a career 100 OPS plus.
Well, yeah, he had
It's only right.
and Gardner, like what I love about him is like for an 8-year stretch, he was like the most consistent
Yeah.
guy out of the box. Like his OPS was always between like 720 and 780.
His best OPS plus in a full season was 2019. That's right. That was the year where he randomly hit 28. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it
Oh,
was juice ball.
it was just balls. He had a 117 OPS plus,
That was the same year Eric
which is very
Sogard
funny.
had, like,
Very
20.
funny. 28 home runs, 117.
Yeah, right.
Like obviously it has a lot to do with what the league OPS was, but it's funny.
It is funny. It is
He was
funny.
also he was the last Yankee to have played at the old Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Yeah. 44.3 career BWAR.
Yeah, I think
That's actually kind of fun. He had good defense and base running, so it makes sense. It
yeah,
is very funny though.
like Jim Passon had this tweet that like he has more wins above replacement than this like high profile player. I forget like
Yeah.
who like everyone agrees is pretty good. But I forget who it was.
I feel like I know who you're talking about. I also, yeah, I forget. What is his F4? That was, I'm waiting for Fangraphs to load. 38.2. Okay, so that doesn't help him.
Yeah, I mean,
Doesn't help as
Baseball
much.
Reference really values defense.
He had a couple random like intriguing stat years, like 2011, 49 stolen bases, led the American League, 92 OPS plus. 2013, 10 triples, which is crazy in that ballpark.
Yeah, well, 2010, it literally
Um,
says on Baseball Reference he had 7.4 wins above replacement because he had 3.4 D WAR.
yeah,
That's pretty insane. And then
yeah, he had 105 OPS plus that year.
yeah, he was fifth among position players in wins above replacement in 2010. That's crazy. I need to see who is ahead of him. Obviously, it's got to be
That's
Josh
awesome.
Hamilton and some
Josh
other.
Hamilton has to be number one.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause he was in God mode entire season.
Josh Hamilton, Evan
Shout out to
Longoria,
2010 years.
Robinson Cano, Adrian Beltre from the Red Sox, and then yeah, Brett Gardner.
I want to see how many of those 10 triples in 2013. Yeah, okay, so I was looking at, so he had 10 triples in the 2013 season. I was curious as how many of them were at home because that's a hard ballpark to hit triples in, probably the hardest one of the majors. Um, 4 were at home, 6 were on the road, which makes sense, but also 4 triples in a season at Yankee Stadium is pretty impressive.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's like, you really gotta, I mean, obviously he was quick enough to do it, but like you really have to hit the ball in a certain spot and have a subpar fielder out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like if
Um,
you have a good fielder wherever in the outfield at Yankee Stadium, like you can prevent a triple every time, no matter what the how fast the runner is
yeah, I can't imagine Aaron Judge has had many triples happen on his watch.
at Yankee Stadium.
Like he could literally he could throw he could probably throw it over the stadium from the right field foul pole.
Yeah.
Um
Mhm.
so yeah, Brett Gardner, interesting career, interesting guy.
Yeah, so that's the Rocky City Connect unis.
Yeah, Brett Gardner, he's interesting. He's forever on the Yankees, and we're going to talk a little bit about teams like the Yankees, teams that are performing much better than we expected. Like the Yankees could have been a playoff, like in terms of predictions, I think a good amount of people had them as a playoff team. I don't know how many people had them winning the division,
Yeah.
but no one had them at like a 700 winning percentage, obviously. And obviously that's not sustainable. We're not saying that they're going to keep doing that, but we want to talk about some teams that are doing extremely well right now, above expectations, and talk about how long they're going to sustain success. And I guess we could start with the Yankees. We've already talked about the Yankees before on this show, but they've kept it up, and they're 32-13 right now. Aaron Judge is looking like a potential MVP this year. And Nestor Cortez has kept it up, just throwing 91 on average, still getting, like a crazy amount of strikeouts, and very good with run prevention with a 1.70 ERA, 2.55 FIP. What do we think about the New York Yankees?
Can I just say one more thing about Brett Gardner?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Sure.
So he's going to be on the Hall of Fame ballot eventually. I think it would be the last year he played was 2021, so it'd probably be 4.5 years from now. What are the odds one Yankee writer puts him down.
Oh, 100%.
Like he's gonna be a one and done. There's no doubt about that. He's not getting 5% of the vote. He might get some Yankee votes, like some Yankee writer, like Mark Feinsand, not Mark Feinsand. Like I think Mark Feinsand's better than that. Like
Yeah, but
you know
some
what?
guy.
He's not a Yankee beat reporter, but I could see John Heyman being
Yeah,
like, you know what? I look at this guy. He was a staple to the Yankees.
it's like
He was
yeah,
the heartbeat of the he was the heartbeat of the team in the late 2010s and early 2020s when they were making a playoff push every year.
I was at the same table at him once at this dinner, and he was a pretty good guy. So I'm gonna
Well,
put
no,
him.
that's a Bob Nightingale move though, because he's the guy that put LaTroy Hawkins because he was a nice guy.
Yeah, okay. Maybe I'm getting the two confused.
Yeah, it could be both of them. Honestly, I could see Heyman pulling that one as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, how many people are nice to John Heyman? I don't know. Um, so yeah,
Anyway, back
he
to the
definitely gets the
Yankees.
Hall of Fame vote.
I think the stretch we're seeing from them right now is the biggest test that they're going to have probably all season to see how well they can sustain this success because they've been plagued with injuries a lot recently, especially in the bullpen. Chad Green is going to be having Tommy John surgery. He's out for the year. He's also a free agent, so this could very well mean that his Yankee career is over, which I think, if and when that time comes, we'll pay tribute to that because I think Chad Green had a very good Yankee career that a lot of people don't talk about.
Yeah, for sure.
He was a top 10 reliever in the league, probably the entirety of his time with the Yankees from like 2017 on. Aroldis Chapman has given up a run in 6 straight appearances, and he just went on the IL. It was 5 or 6 straight appearances. He is Achilles tendonitis, 15-day IL with no timetable for return. So who knows how long that will last. Josh Donaldson is on the COVID IL, and he also has a 1-game suspension. Giancarlo Stanton just went on the DL with ankle inflammation. 10-day IL, and there's no timetable for the return. They've had Domingo Germán out all year. Like, this is a team that has been kind of falling left and right with injuries. But, you think back to the 2019 team that won like 103, 104 games. That team had the same issues around this time of the season, and they just kept winning games. And I think that, if this Yankee team is going to sustain success, like this stretch of games they're going to have right here is going to be the biggest determining factor in that. They won against the Rays last night. They have, I think, 3 more games against them this weekend in Tropicana Field. And they're facing McClanahan, Jeffrey Springs out of the bullpen, Corey Kluber. So they have some good matchups there. Next week they are facing the Angels at Yankee Stadium. That's another good team, a team that we're going to be talking about in a little bit. And then next weekend they are facing the Tigers at home. That'll be an easier one for them.
Yeah. Yes. And talking about the injuries, one of the factors that had me hesitant on the Yankees' success before the season started was, I didn't know how healthy they were going to be. It seemed very lucky last year that the Red Sox or the Yankees were able to get full seasons out of both Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge. And it's still hard to believe that they were able to go the whole way thus far this year until Stanton just went on the IL. So yeah, that's hard to sustain. And yeah, Aaron Judge is looking great. I don't
bet on himself.
Bet on himself. And I don't know if he does fall off. I don't think it'll be by too much. I mean, his barrel rate is off the charts. It's unbelievable to see.
It's like 19% or something like that.
I feel like I think it's more. I think it might be more.
It's 27%. Oh my God. 27%. Wow. Side note, Judge, Stanton, and Gallo are all top 5 in barrel percent. You'll love to see it.
Yeah. Gallo, I guess it's the percentage of times you make contact. So
yeah. That I mean, you look at it like his barrel, like his barrels per batted ball is 19.7%. His barrels per PA is 9.5, which is a really steep drop off, which makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I think also an improvement generally that Aaron Judge has made in his career is his strikeouts are lower, so I feel like that makes him less prone to a big slump.
Mhm.
So I like what we're seeing out of him is something pretty insane for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
So the team's next four series, counting this current one, at the Rays, against the Angels, at home, against the Tigers at home, and then going to Minnesota. That's three good teams that they're gonna face with this injury riddled roster that they're carrying right now. I think if the Yankees win all four of these next series, this team is for real and they can compete the entire season for the division.
yeah, for sure. I
Like
mean,
I'll put a lock on it if they win all four of these.
they got so you said they have the Rays, Angels, who else?
Tigers, which is the one easy one, and then the Twins at Minnesota.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's been like the Yankees so far have been pretty crazy to witness. And yeah, if they continue like that, especially with a depleted roster.
Yeah, like there's nothing that can stop this team if they win all four of these series with this roster, in my opinion, especially against those teams.
Yeah, exactly. Um, and
Like I think the only thing that can stop them is if they come back down to earth and maybe start playing like, I don't know, like 5:30 ball for like a couple months, and then like the Blue Jays or Rays just have like a skyrocket month, or the Red Sox.
yeah,
Like I think
yeah,
that's the only thing that can really stop this team.
yeah, for sure, for sure. I could see them being like a 100 win wild card team. That would make sense.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
it's the AL East. It would
yeah,
make a lot of sense. What's their winning percentage right now? It is 32 divided by
45.
yeah.
It's gotta be 700.
Yeah, it's 7-11. So obviously they're not playing 7-11 ball the whole year. That
Yeah,
would what would that how many wins would that put them at?
like 112
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah. Something like that. Like they're not gonna be like that the entire season, but I mean, if they finish at 600, that's like what 100 something wins, like a low 100s.
At 600,
Yeah, winning
I
percentage.
think it would be 96 or 98.
Yeah,
0.6
still
times 162. Yeah, 97. But yeah, that's
okay.
usually winning a division.
Yeah,
Um, and then yeah, 7-11 ball would put them at 115 wins, which
yeah, they'd be
don't-
one shy of the Mariners.
yeah,
Yeah, which
one of the most competitive divisions in baseball.
yeah, I don't think they're gonna do that. I think the Blue Jays and Rays are going to get better. Like they've kind of been underperforming, not even just against the Yankees, but just in general. So I think they're going to run into some tougher games against those teams. They've also played, and they've already had 4 series against the Orioles.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah. What are they? What's the? I mean, I'm sure they're beating up on them like they should be. Let me check.
Yeah, like they're 9-4 against them.
Yeah. So 9-4. They've played what? How many games does that make against the Orioles? 13.
Yeah, they've played the Rays once the whole year. Like
Which was last night.
yeah, they've played the Red Sox for a series. They played Toronto for 3 series, and
They
they've
have
done
played
pretty
Toronto
well
a
against
lot.
them.
And they're doing well against them. They're 6-3.
And yeah, Baltimore, Boston, Rays, Blue Jays. Yeah, those are all the teams for sure.
Yes.
And yeah, even other division winners, like, or division favorites like the Chicago White Sox. I mean, they've played all their games against them.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, like they've definitely outperformed expectations. I think they have some guys having some career years. Like, I mean, Nestor Cortez is the biggest example, but even like Aaron Judge is having a career year.
Yeah, like he's having a better year than he was in 2017.
Yeah, I mean, Jamison Tyon has a 2.59 ERA right now.
Clay Holmes has been otherworldly.
He definitely has been.
Michael King is the guy that like his usage is starting to catch up to him a little bit. I think he gave a home run in his last outing, but he's still been more than serviceable. 2.96 ERA, which is wildly only a 1.26 ERA plus.
Yeah,
that's insane.
And then Garrett Cole has come back to his regular form. Has a
strikeouts aren't quite there yet, but they'll get there.
Yeah, I mean he still has a flat 3 FIP. I think he's decreased his home run allowance, so he's doing well in that department. So yeah, I think for sure there's a ton of guys who are overperforming, but I can't imagine, like, I think Nestor Cortez can sustain his success to a degree, and
I don't know if he's gonna finish with a sub-2 ERA.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think he can finish with a sub-3.
Oh, absolutely.
And then I think Jamison Tyon has potential of, like, and we've already seen it, of finishing with like a low 3s ERA, and we know Garrett Cole's potential for sure, and like Aaron Judge could definitely have an OPS over 1,000. When the season comes to an end. So yeah, like they've put themselves in a very good spot. And yeah, it's like, especially if they do well in these next 4 series, as you mentioned, it's their division to lose most likely. So yeah, that's the Yankees. Another division, I guess that transitions well into the other division leader out of New York, the Mets. I think we both know like what our instinct is to say.
Let's you make a universal agreement. We're not going to say it.
Okay.
Let's pretend this is a normal baseball team that doesn't have the track record that some might have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the New York Metropolitans, a very intriguing franchise.
They started in 1962.
Yeah, they had a great 1962 season. And they got off running. One of the narratives of this team early on in the season was that they had the lowest hard hit rate in the league. So nothing was really sustainable. They're now up to 23rd in the league. So they're climbing the ladder, obviously. They're hitting better. And this is a team that with injuries is only going to get better. Like, they just lost Max Scherzer. They lost Tyler McGill, I think. And they hopefully have Jacob deGrom coming back. I would love to see it.
Yeah, I'd love to see that too, for sure. They've also done, I mean, looking at their schedule breakdown, they've done pretty well against the rest of their division. I mean, they've done what they should do against the Nationals. They're 5-2 against them, 6-3 against the Phillies, and they've split 2-2 against the Braves. And it doesn't appear like they've played the Marlins yet, which those are some potential wins.
Their rotation right now is so depleted. Chris Bassett, David Peterson, Carlos Carrasco, Taijuan Walker.
Yeah.
To their credit, they've all been doing pretty well. Like, Bassett's been solid, which I guess we expected from him. Carrasco has had a comeback campaign. Walker's been pretty good. Like, everyone's been doing their job. No one's been necessarily exceptional. Edwin Diaz has, except for his last game against the Giants. Did you watch that game, by the way?
No, I heard it was game of the year, though.
It was from my tweet. Yes, it was game of the year.
Yeah.
The Mets were down 8-2. They came back and made it like 9-8. It took a Jock Peterson third home run of the game to give the Giants back the lead. The Mets took the lead again in the 9th inning, and then through some babibbery, the Giants ended up walking it off. The Giants had like 3 ground ball singles, I think.
Babibbery.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. Like, so with the Mets are interesting because I think there are some guys overperforming, but there are guys that are like back at the level they should be at. Like guys like Jeff McNeil and Francisco Lindor are.
Yeah, I think Lindor should. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Lindor's at a 125 OPS plus. I mean, that's where he's been like pretty much
Yes.
around where he's been his whole career.
However, his defense has not been there.
That's
which is very
true.
weird. He was last I checked, he had -6 defensive runs saved, which is not the Lindor that I know.
Yeah, that particular part is weird.
Right now, it's at -5. It's coming back.
Yeah,
Um,
and he didn't lead among.
which is weird because he has a 2.1 defensive runs above average.
Yeah, it can be weird with that stuff.
Like every single defensive stat I'm looking at here on Fangraphs, like the range stat is down. I think it's like an error sort of stat. That's a rate stat is down. UZR is down. UZR 150 is down. OA is down. Defensive runs above average is 2.1.
Yeah, what's his outs above average at?
It's -1. It's not like horrible.
Yeah.
It's
so, I
like
mean,
you can come back from it for sure. It's probably like I wonder what percentile it is.
Yeah, it's probably like 38th or something like that.
Yeah. It's not the end of the world.
But yeah, I think defensive runs above average. It includes as above average and an arm factor. So maybe his arm factor.
22nd percentile. By the way, do you know where Francisco Lindor went to high school?
He went somewhere in Florida, right?
Yeah. It's a school that you're familiar with.
School that I'm familiar with.
Yeah. I'll give you a hint. You interviewed someone from that school.
Oh, Montverde?
Yeah.
Montverde, yeah. Nice.
I saw it on a Savant. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Why didn't he show up to hoop ball?
Yeah, why didn't he support his
dude? Your team played IMG. Come support.
Yeah, why didn't you support the great, Jalen Hood-Schiano, Sky Clark, Dylan Mitchell,
yeah.
Yeah, why didn't you
Whitehead
come out and support those guys? I mean, those guys are future stars.
Yeah, in the NBA.
Dariq Whitehead. Yeah, eventually we will become a high school basketball podcast. Don't worry.
Yes, once a week every year. For next year only.
For those unaware, it's Springfield College hosts Hoop Hall, and we were doing media for them for Hoop Hall.
Yeah.
This year, and it's funny because it's like 30 basketball games in 5 days, and you just get very immersed in the high school basketball culture for 5 days.
Yeah. After knowing limited about it.
Montverde. Yeah. Shout out.
And that's a Montverde.
Shout out to them. I forget their mascot. Probably like the Eagle. Probably like the Eagles or something. They don't go too creative there.
Yeah.
The mascots. But yeah, back to the Mets.
I just had to point that out.
Yeah, back to the Mets. Like, yeah, Brandon Nimmo I have as my second NL outfielder. But like that's a guy, he's all like his problems have been injuries. It hasn't been production. He's always
I mentioned his like he was my player to watch, and I mentioned he was like on the top of the leaderboards in OBP every single year.
Yeah, you were in. Yeah, he was your player to watch, and yeah, he has a 385 on base percentage this year. 22 walks in 181 plate appearances. That's got to be like 13-14%.
He has a 392 career OBP in 1,800 plate appearances.
Yeah, he's underperforming in the on base percentage department.
He's not. He's been at 400 each of the last 2 years, and 3 of the last 4 years, not including this one. So like, what the hell?
Yeah. So Brandon Nimmo is slightly alarming.
Yeah.
But yeah, like looking at the team without attaching the name to them, their talent is performing like they should, which is great. I think maybe their starting pitching staff, like with the absences of Jacob deGrom and Max Scherzer for the next, at least month, that's going to be tough to sustain. But like, I think, if they perform in an average way, I think they can keep that division lead for the next month until Scherzer and deGrom come back.
Yeah, I mean, you also look at some of the additions that the team made in the offense. Everyone's been kind of doing their part. I mean, Eduardo Escobar was my first. How about that? He has a 101 OPS plus, which is above average, but you have to remember that, it's above average. It doesn't mean a lot this year offensively. He's a 692 OPS. So obviously that you can ask for more there. Starling Marte, that poor guy's been going through so much, man.
Yeah.
You saw what happened with him. But he homered in his first game back from the bereavement list, which is cool. He has a 106 OPS plus. They have three guys above 140: Brandon Nimmo, Jeff McNeil, Pete Alonso.
Yeah, and
which is crazy because Pete Alonso has an 840 OPS, which is the highest among those three.
Yeah, that's funny.
Like, I feel like the ballpark definitely has a lot to do with it. Yeah, I mean, I think
I like what the players are doing, and when you detach the name, the team, like the organization from the squad, it's like, maybe they could do it. But
they have a 7.5 game division lead, so
yeah,
at this part, it's a lot of the. Obviously, this is the team with that name, but you know what? I think the team from Queens can win the division. It's a very good chance of it. Like it should, like, if they win, it's catastrophic.
Oh yeah, they could definitely do it. But I'm swiftly reminded of last year. Like this is exactly what it looked like last
year. Did they have a 7.5 game lead last year? Like they could have. I'm genuinely asking.
Maybe not. I remember like everyone in the NL East was like around 500, I guess, when they had the lead.
Like the Braves are having the same season. They're 21-24.
Yeah, for sure.
They just need Acuna to get injured.
Yeah, Acuna's been holding them back for sure.
Clearly. Oh wait, he already did. Wait, what am I talking about? I mean, he didn't, but like he was already out for an injury. I'm kidding, by the way. Of course.
Yeah.
He has an 846 OPS in 17 games played. 400 OBP.
Yeah, clearly that's making the team a lot worse.
Yeah. Matt Olson's been very good, but they definitely are missing Freddie Freeman.
Yeah.
He's been significantly better.
Sure.
Dansby Swanson's been turning it up offensively. I know that I talked about him being a subpar hitter this year with amazing defense and base running, but the offense has kind of come along in the last week or so.
Yeah, for sure.
They're waiting for Marcelo Zuna to get going. They're waiting for Adam Duvall. Holy cow, he's been miserable. 51 weighted runs created, or 51 OPS plus.
Right.
Eddie Rosario was bad before he got hurt, which maybe that's why.
Yeah, the Braves, like, it's not like, especially since we've seen it before, it's not something you can get really worried about.
Yeah.
But
if the Mets keep playing like this, they're going to make it a lot harder because, the Braves winning the division was a combination of them playing out of their minds, but also the Mets just falling. I mean, everyone remembers that Steve Cohen tweet of like, I've never seen a team that is, I don't remember the exact wording, but I mean, you know exactly what tweet I'm talking about.
Yeah, but yeah, what I will say is like, if the Mets are 3 games ahead or more in the division by the time Scherzer and DeGrom come back, look out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like this is a team that is, usually it's what happens is they play well, they get hurt, and then they fall.
Yeah.
Got injured, and they're still the Mets. Like even that game that they lost in San Francisco, like it was a West Coast game, and there were so many Mets fans that went to sleep and woke up and being like, "What did I just miss?"
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Which is like
this team.
Usually it's the opposite.
Yeah, like this team is making games out of games that shouldn't be games. Like there was that big comeback in Philly earlier this year. Like they've just been doing the thing.
Yeah, they had one against St. Louis, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Where they came back. Yeah. Yeah, and the guys that should be doing well are doing well. Pete Alonso, Jeff McNeil having a great comeback season, as I mentioned, and Brandon Nimmo, like just you're kind of tense around that subject when you say like, oh, Brandon Nimmo's doing well. Hope he doesn't get hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, if he doesn't get hurt, I mean, that is potential. Like
it's over for you people.
He's like an all MLB nominee.
Yeah.
At the very least. If he stays healthy this whole way, because I mean, his on base, as you mentioned, career on base percentage is 392. It's insane. And the next little team to get into is a team leading the American League Central right now. Not the American League Central favorites, but they did win the division crown in 2019 and 2020, but they finished in last in 2021. Made some additions in the 2022 season, but they're 9 games above 500 right now, 4.5 ahead of the division favorite White Sox right now. And yeah, like what's the temperature on the Minnesota Twins right now? They're doing very well.
The Twins are intriguing. They're succeeding right now with the best rotation of 2016 with Dylan Bundy, Chris Archer, and Sonny Gray.
Yeah.
All 3 of those guys, it's like, wait, when did they get that guy?
Right. Yeah. Especially this past off season.
Yeah. Like Sonny Gray was the only one that people probably knew about. Like I had no idea they got Bundy. I heard about them getting Archer, but I wouldn't be surprised if other people didn't.
Right.
And like, I mean, Sonny Gray was a guy that I was very intrigued about because of his numbers away from Cincinnati last year. And he's been kind of holding up that end of the bargain for himself. 27 2/3 innings pitched in 6 starts. I know it's probably not a lot, but I mean, he's been doing all right. 2.6 ERA, 3.10 FIP, 11.4 strikeouts per 9, 3.3 walks per 9, 1.0 home runs per 9. He's been pitching very well. Other than Joe Ryan, who's broken out as an ace but is currently injured, he is the best starting pitcher on this team right now.
Yeah. Sonny Gray, the Sonny Gray experiment, or I don't know, I didn't even know if it was an experiment, but the Sonny Gray like transition to, a pitcher-friendly ballpark is working out very well.
Yes.
He's in a pitcher-friendly ballpark for the first time since he was in Oakland, which was the best
3 teams ago now.
Yeah. He went from Oakland to New York to Cincinnati to Minnesota, and working out tremendously. I mean, also his strikeout numbers are up, which is always going to help you out. 11.4 strikeouts per 9. Love to see that for him. And yeah, Dylan Bundy, like that's interesting. He's got a 3.94 FIP. He's not where he was at in 2020, but he's not as bad as he was last year. So
Exactly.
That's great. And your guy to watch, Bailey Ober. I mean, he's been, it looks like he probably got injured at some point as he's only made 5 saves this year.
Yes.
But I mean, you pointed out
home runs.
If he cuts down on the home run allowance, then it works out. And I mean, he's cut it down by more than half. With only 0.7 home runs per 9, he's probably benefiting a little bit from the dead ball, but I mean, it's working out great. His strikeout to walk ratio is still 3.33. And yeah, I mean, even like looking at just like the back end of the bullpen, Johan Duran is, you're one of your how about that's from earlier this year. He's very intriguing. Emilio
Johan Duran is, I just want to say, he's going to get better. He is 1.7 home runs per 9, which is absurd. Like
Yeah.
that is insane. I don't know. I can't explain it. Like Rafael Devers took him deep on a 100-mile pitch that was inside out of the zone.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you how that happened. Like if you look at the home runs he's given up, it's all how in the world did they hit that? Like not only how did they hit it for a home run, but how did they hit it? The Devers home run was on a 98.4 mile an hour pitch that was down and inside, not a strike, and he hit it for a home run.
Yeah. Yeah, Johan Duran he's ridiculous. So I mean, it's hard to expect people to consistently hit home runs off of him.
There's one that's like one that was fair. He gave up a home run to Austin Hayes. That actually cleared that wall. He cleared Baltimore out there and left 94 mile an hour pitch that was in game day zone 5. That one made sense. Ryan Mountcastle, he gave up 2 home runs to the Orioles. This is it was a 95 mile an hour fastball, also game day zone 5. So all right, he's missing his location a little bit. Vasquez took him deep. That was also a ball. 2 of his 4 home runs allowed have been balls.
It's just like
the other 2 are fair home runs. Yeah. The other 2 are fair home runs, but still, let's just say that both those are taken for balls. That's 4 home runs given up, that's 2 home runs given up over 22 in the 3rd innings pitch. That would be what would that home run per 9 be?
How many home runs and how many innings pitched?
2 home runs, 21 in the 3rd innings.
I mean, yeah, a little less than 1, probably like 0.8.
Yeah. Which is still, I mean, that would make his ERA a lot better. It would make his FIP a lot better. I mean, you'd be talking about less than a home run per 9, 13.1 strikeouts per 9, and 1.3 walks per 9.
Yeah, I mean, he has 31 strikeouts and 3 walks in 21 innings.
Yeah,
he's pretty unbelievable.
And he throws over 100 on a splitter, which doesn't happen.
It just doesn't. It's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in terms of like competition, looking at their schedule breakdown, their only real competition potentially realistically in the division this year is the White Sox, and they've played them in 1 series and they swept them 3 games.
OPS plus has been very nice to them in their ballpark.
Yeah, they have a 113.
But like, looking at some of these guys. Okay, Luis Arias, he's slashing 347, 448, 413 for an 861 OPS. What do you think his OPS plus is?
Oh, I think I checked earlier. It's 161, right?
It's 161. That's insane. Gio Urshela has a 668 OPS and a 101 OPS plus. Which is weird. Like their ballpark factor is 93 for 1 year, 97 for multi-year in terms of batting. Yeah, I can't really explain it.
That's just the way it goes in 2022.
Gilberto Celestino has a 135 OPS plus with a 776 OPS. I don't like it. By the way, I don't know if you saw this. I don't know if this really means as much to you, Chris, as it does to me, but Jose Miranda, one of their top prospects, just so happens to be related to Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Oh yeah,
that's insane.
Alexander Hamilton.
Yeah, look at you knowing musical theater.
It's strictly 100% because of my sisters.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, like I had no idea that connection existed, but that was mind blowing because Lin-Manuel Miranda tweeted like, I forget the relation, but it was like it might have been brother. It was like my brother's a big league baseball player.
That's pretty hilarious.
Let me check it. I want to make sure.
Couple of major talents.
Yeah, cousin. Okay, it's cousin. They're cousins. Yeah,
that's pretty.
Imagine
sick.
Being those 2 siblings. It's like, yeah, you raised like a musical theater god. I raised a major league baseball player who came up as a top prospect.
Yeah. Yeah. My temperature on the Twins is like, I don't think they're gonna win the division, but I'm very high on their playoff chances right now.
Absolutely, especially with that second. I think I had them in the playoffs.
You did. You did.
I had them as the 5 seed. Yeah, this is a team that I was pretty high on. I think they were my sleeper team in the American League. And a lot of their, even with the Joe Ryan injury, let me check what the timetable is for him, like how severe that is.
Um, yeah, and I mean, like the Twins, I mean, they're not known for the rotation, but they do have a decent amount of depth. Like they have a
Oh, it's COVID-19 IL. Okay, so he's
okay,
back whenever.
yeah, he'll be back.
Um, let me check. Yeah, I mean, what else do they have coming back? Miguel Sano. They really haven't gotten him going. He actually just hit the 60-day IL a month ago. Chris
Right.
Paddock is getting Tommy John surgery.
Yeah,
Cody Stashik, I don't think I've ever talked about him on the show, but he's been one of my favorite relievers just from a statistical standpoint. He's hurt right now.
interesting.
Yeah, hold on. Let me look at why I liked Cody Stashik so much. I think it was his strikeout to walk ratio. Yeah, it was. Like look at like in 2020, he pitched 15 innings, 10.2 strikeouts per nine, 1.8 walks per nine. Last year, 5.7 walks per nine, but 14.9 strikeouts per nine in 15 and 2/3 innings. This year, hasn't walked a guy in 16 and a third innings. Strikeouts are down, but he's been very effective. He has a FIP of 210 and an ERA of 386. Thanks to a 306 BABIP. So I bet his BABIP is high with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, yeah, for
He does
sure.
have 0.6 home runs per nine, which is not a lot.
Right. Well, so what are your thoughts on the Twins so far? How long do you think they might have a division lead?
I think there's no reason to believe they can't win the division. I know it sounds super crazy. I do think the White Sox are still the favorites to win the division at this point, but I mean, think about 2019. What was the temperature with the Twins up until September? It was they're good playing well right now, but the Indians are gonna catch them. Like the
Yeah.
Indians are just gonna make the playoffs, and then it never happened.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like maybe this is the same thing where it's, hey, the Twins are good, they could win the division, but the White Sox are gonna catch them. But the Twins just keep playing well.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that entire season was, yeah, they'll fall off eventually, and then they just never did. Yeah, wow. Cody Stashik in 12 at bats with runners in scoring position, hitters are 9 for 12. 750, 692, 1083, 1776. His OPS is the year America was founded.
Yeah, very patriotic of him. So yeah, like yeah, with the Twins, I completely agree with you. There's no reason to believe they can't win the division. I mean, yeah, obviously the White Sox are the favorites, and I think the White Sox will end up taking over. But it'll be no surprise to me if the Twins can take over.
They have a 4.5 game lead. They're the only team in the division with a positive standard runs positive simple rating system on Baseball Reference, which is usually based on run differential. My MLB.com app like doesn't show run differential anymore. That always used to be my way of looking at it. But they just don't have it anymore, or at least I haven't found it.
Yeah.
My MLB app. Let me check run differentials though. I admittedly don't do it that much because
I don't
run
think
differential.
The Twins are very far off. I think I have their thing.
They're plus 31. The White Sox are minus 42. Holy cow. I mean, to be fair, they did just lose 2 games to the Red Sox where they scored 16 runs.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the thing with run differential. It's kind of dumb.
Twins Pythagorean win-loss is 1 game worse than their actual.
Makes sense.
So like.
Yeah, they're plus 31. Who is the? Yeah.
But yeah, like how I see it is if we played out 3 simulations of how the rest of the regular season will go, I say the White Sox win the division 2 of those simulations, but the Twins win it 1 of those simulations.
The White Sox have a worse run differential than the Orioles.
That's great. I love
they
that.
have a worse run differential. That's the only really bad team, I'd say. I guess the Colorado Rockies, but they're 20 and 24. Yeah, the Orioles are the only really good example there. They're better than Kansas City. They're better than Detroit. They're better than Washington. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. By the way, I just saw this on Twitter. The Reds Cubs Field of Dreams game this year. It's so stupid. A year like past when they made that decision.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad that guys like Alfonso Rivas are getting a chance to play in that game.
Yeah, finally. Yeah, finally we got guys like I
Brandon
forget the guy's-
Drury,
I forget the guy's first name. San Martin.
Riviere.
Oh yeah, Revere San Martin can finally get the spotlight. We've been putting him out of the spotlight too long.
Yeah,
He finally
I don't
gets
even know how to
in.
spell his name. Riviere. I'm just gonna type in San Martin. Okay, it's River. River. It's Raver. Okay, it's Raver San Martin. He has a 13.78 ERA in 16 and a third innings pitched and 4 starts.
Yeah.
Yeah, FIP of 6.35 though. It's getting unlucky.
Right. I kind of feel bad for Jonathan India. Like he just came onto a team that was like in somewhat decent shape
Yeah.
on a very good offense.
By the way,
bye everyone.
Do you want to guess? I don't know if you've looked, but do you want to guess who leads the Reds in B WAR?
No, I haven't looked actually.
If you get it, I will be very impressed. I'll give you a hint. It's a pitcher, and this guy was the first pitcher to go 6 innings in a start for them this year.
First pitcher to go 6 innings in a start for them. I feel like I'm playing the Wardle.
The MLB pickle.
MLB pickle. Shout out to them. Well, It's not Hunter Green, obviously. That would be too obvious.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can name. Well,
Another
Tyler
Reds.
Mahle.
It's not Tyler Mahle.
Like
Yeah.
I'm just naming off pitchers in my head. Like, yeah, their pitching staff is actually not as bad. Yeah, Wade Miley's gone. I can't name. I don't know if I can name a single starter outside of
Okay.
Green,
Do you want the answer?
Mahle, and Castillo.
I can't imagine this guy leads the team in F WAR,
Okay,
but the team leader in B WAR is a guy named Connor Overton,
I wouldn't have gotten.
who has made 4 starts for the Reds, has a 1.82 ERA, 24 and 2/3 innings pitched, 3.6 strikeouts per 9, 2.6 walks per 9, no home runs allowed, and he is currently on the 60-day IL.
Oh damn.
Poor
That's
guy. Stress in lower back. Yeah, this guy, like, think about it. The Reds have played 44 games at this point. The leader in B WAR is a guy who has appeared in 4 games.
Yeah,
That's where the Reds are at.
that checks out.
By the way, also, did you see that Edwin Diaz's brother is on the Reds? That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I've seen the like overlays of the two
Yes.
of them. They have like the same motion.
He has 3.5 hits per 9 and 20 and 2/3 innings pitched this year. He's pretty good.
That's pretty sick.
Just walks a lot of people, but he also strikes out a lot of people.
Well, hey, that makes sense
Yeah,
given the relation.
he's a Diaz.
All right. Do we want to talk a little bit about the Angels before getting into players to highlight?
Yes,
I feel like we've talked about them a little bit. They're kind of an ongoing subject in the baseball world.
it's because of Taylor Ward.
It's because they have star players like Taylor Ward and Patrick Sandoval, and
Yes.
they've just been everyone has been saying we need to get guys like Taylor Ward and Patrick Sandoval into the playoffs. It's been way too long without them reaching it. And I have to agree.
You can't disagree. Like, what are you talking about otherwise?
Yeah, they're second in the AL West, 2 games out, 2 games behind the Astros. I imagine they have a wild card spot if the season ended today.
Yes.
50
50.6% to make the postseason.
Nice, nice.
The starting pitching has been holding up. Michael Lorenzen, a 3.05 ERA. Also a 4.08 FIP. He doesn't have a lot of strikeouts. That's why. But Michael Lorenzen in this day and age hasn't really been a strikeout guy. Reed Detmers, of course, threw the no hitter. Patrick Sandoval, a 1.79 ERA. Noah Syndergaard, a 3.08. And then obviously Shohei Ohtani's been doing his thing. He's been excellent.
It's crazy.
Also
Shohei Ohtani legit could win. He has a chance at Cy Young this year.
I don't think he qualifies though.
Well, I mean,
he's gonna if he qualifies, he's gonna have 163 innings.
I mean, you don't have to.
But to be fair, Corbin Burns.
What's a qualification these days?
Dude, tell that to the writers. They care. Straight up, Corbin Burns had 165 innings pitched last year.
Yeah, but I mean, if he threw 160, he'd still be.
I don't know. I think some writers would have voted for Zach Wheeler in that scenario.
Yeah, well,
I'm not even joking. If I look at the ERA leaderboards and I don't see him, I'm not voting for him. I straight up think that's how a lot of people would have voted. I still would have voted for Burns in that case, but
yeah, because I mean, relievers have won the Cy Young.
Yes,
they obviously don't.
But also, relievers aren't supposed to qualify. Starters are supposed to qualify, right?
Yeah, I guess technically.
Yeah, I still voted. I mean, I didn't have a vote, but I would have voted for Corbin Burns last year. I think he was deserving, and I have no problem with him winning.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, if he pitched 3 1/3 less innings, he either doesn't win or he doesn't win by as much. I guarantee one of those 30 writers takes that into consideration.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, there's no ERA title, which was part of his attraction.
Yes.
But anyway, yeah, Lorenzen, that's interesting. It's weird. The Angels starting staff is weird. Outside of Ohtani, strikeout numbers are low, but they're doing well.
Yeah, I mean, Patrick Sandoval's at 8.5 strikeouts per 9. That's very good. I mean,
walk numbers are low too.
Walk numbers are very low. Patrick Sandoval, okay. So out of Ohtani, Lorenzen, Detmers, Sandoval, and Syndergaard, Patrick Sandoval has the most walks, and he has a 2.59 FIP.
Yeah,
he also hasn't allowed a home run. So
it is also funny. It is also funny that out of Ohtani, Lorenzen, Detmers, Sandoval, and Syndergaard, Detmers obviously has the highest ERA and FIP, and he threw a no-hitter this year.
Yeah. How many qualified starters, have yet to give up a home run? I'm just thinking about that. It is Martin Perez, and that's it. Of course. I don't think Sandoval qualifies. I mean, he can't. Obviously, 40 in the third inning. Yeah, the Angels have played more than 40 games. All right, let's see every starter with 40 starts. So there's 57 qualifiers and 84 pitchers with 40 innings. So there are guys that are just on the cusp of qualifying that simply have not.
Yeah.
It is Martin Perez, Michael Kopech, Patrick Sandoval, and that's it.
Nice. Love that.
Yes.
Love
Very
that.
Cool.
For the Angels, I think it might be a good matter of keeping everyone healthy, and I think that starting staff, it's also there's the bullpen, but
yeah, the bullpen has been so I think but strikeout to walk numbers are Jimmy Herget has broken out. Have you looked at that guy? It's like a multi-inning relief ace that they have.
Jimmy Herget, 3.13 ERA, 2.75 FIP. He's interesting.
Look at his strikeout to walk.
Yeah, I mean, he has less than a walk per 9. 11.
He has 2 walks and 22 strikeouts. He's like a multi-inning relief ace for them. Jaime Barria has broken back out for now. His FIP's high compared to his ERA. Yeah, they've been encouraging. Yeah, we need to see it through 162 because we've seen flashes of this before.
Yeah, so the team as a whole has a 1.11 ERA plus, and the team's ERA is 6th in the AL, and they're offensively, their team OPS is first in the American League at 738 with a 116 OPS plus. So like the offense is promising, and when you have Trout doing his thing, and then like Taylor Ward just, I apologize for saying that Taylor Ward's OPS will be below 800 by the end of the year. I think I'm going to be wrong about that one.
Do you think his OPS plus will be above 240? I would hope not.
Sure.
That would be insane. That's how you're gonna redeem yourself. Look, I'm sorry I said it wouldn't be 800. So guess what? He's gonna have the greatest season since Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
You happy?
Yeah.
Can I ask a negative Angels question?
Go ahead.
How much longer until they move on from Joe Adele?
Ooh.
I hope they don't. Like, I hope he can figure it out and be a core piece of that team. But I mean, he struggled again on offense this year, and his defense was really tough to watch.
Yeah,
like,
and like
all the time that people spent saying that Trout was gonna go to a corner outfield spot so that he could play center, like, I'm not buying it with what I saw in the brief sample this year.
Yeah, and like when the team's doing good, there's not time for experimentation. So as long as the Angels are doing good, they're probably going to keep Joe Adele off the field.
Yeah, like Brandon Marsh he's been doing it. He's got a 116 ERA or OPS plus. He's hitting 280 with a 735 OPS. Like, he's doing well.
Yeah, doing pretty well. And so you got Marsh, Trout,
especially
and Ward in the outfield.
I was gonna say, like, with Ward's breakout, like, you don't even really need to try with Adele, right? You have Ohtani DHing, you have the 3 outfield spots occupied. He can't play middle infield because both of those guys have a 64 OPS plus.
Yeah, and if you're believing in Taylor Ward, then Joe Adele is probably just a trade asset.
He might be. I mean, if the Angels really believe in themselves at the deadline, that might be the bold move that they make.
Yeah, it very well could be. I mean, the only concern would be like age. Like Adele is what, 22 right
23.
now? 23. He's 23. Taylor Ward is 28.
28. Yeah, that is the thing. Is like Taylor Ward probably won't be sustainable. Like, long term, give me 3 years, I'd probably take a chance on Joe Adele. But if the Angels really want to go in this year, that might be the bold move that they go for.
Yeah, very well could be. Like, yeah, you trade Joe Adele for a top tier pitcher.
Yes,
we could see that for sure.
I think next episode we should do like a who do we think is available.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's been confusing as
the top. The top pitcher on the market might be Martin Perez.
Yeah, it's funny.
And that's not a statement of how lackluster the starting pitching market is. That is how good Martin Perez has been.
Yeah, it's also like, yeah, he's this year's Kyle Gibson. He's a soft contact getting Texas Rangers pitcher, and maybe the Phillies will throw a top tier prospect at them.
The Phillies, yeah, that I could see that fit.
Yeah,
I mean, hey, it's a pitcher friendly ballpark, right?
Yeah, the famous Citizens Bank ballpark eats up all the home runs.
Holds balls in.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Anything to say on the Angels before we?
I mean, as far as postseason goes, I feel like it's too soon for me to make an official decision. Even with the extra spot opening up, like, there are some AL teams that have been performing. You look at the Rays, you have the Blue Jays, the Red Sox are coming back up, the White Sox, and then the Twins. Like, I think even with the standings being what they are right now, I think it's an uphill battle for them to get to that postseason spot, or just any of them, because to be honest, I really don't see the division as that route with the Astros being who they are. But
yeah,
I need more time to make an official decision on them. Yeah,
I think a lot of the teams we're talking about also are going to benefit from that extra postseason spot, and I think that that's especially true with like the Angels and the Twins.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could see them being hot.
If you had to ask me right now who would be the 7th best team in the AL by record, my answer would probably be Angels.
Yeah, that would make sense. Would make a lot of sense.
That's what my gut would tell me.
All right. Well, that's the Angels. We'll be keeping tabs on them throughout the year.
Yes, we will.
Always an interesting team. So now we get into our Friday, May 27, 2022 edition of who do you got for us today?
So for my how about that today, this is just comical. And I've been looking at this guy the whole year, and I wanted to give him more time, and I think the time has come. I'm talking about Tommy Edman today.
Yeah.
If you look at the position player F4 leaderboard right now, it is hysterical. The top 10 is Manny Machado, Mookie Betts, Aaron Judge, Mike Trout, Jose Ramirez, Rafael Devers, Tommy Edman, Paul Goldschmidt, Freddie Freeman, Nolan Arenado.
Yeah.
That's 9 superstar players, and Tommy Edman is there with them. Like that, like you could argue those 9 are the all MLB team.
Yes, for sure.
Like Machado, Betts, Judge, Trout, Ramirez, Devers, Goldschmidt. You do have 3 third basemen there. Whatever.
But yeah,
Goldschmidt, Freeman are not, four of them. 4 third basemen there. Sorry, in Ramirez, Devers, Machado, Arenado. Damn. But regardless, Tommy Edman has been one of the best players in baseball this year. Much of his performance has been what we're kind of used to with him, solid defense, good speed, high contact rates. None of that has changed, but he's added some more tools into his repertoire. He is walking now. Tommy Edman had never had a walk rate above 7% before this season, and as of right now, he currently holds a 10.2% walk rate. That moves him from the 10th percentile last year to the 68th percentile this year. That is a pretty extreme jump for him. He has also increased his previous high in hard hit percentage by 5% based on this season compared to his best season beforehand, and also his best barrel rate has gone up by 2.8%. So he's hitting the ball harder, he's making better contact, and he's taking pitches a lot more. And he is also one of few players that has gotten thrown more off pitches than breaking balls this year. Normally, if you go on Savant and you look at like the pitch breakdown thrown to every position player, it kind of looks the same for everyone. It's like fastball is at like 2/3 of it, maybe like a little less than half of it. And then breaking balls off speed, kind of close to each other, but usually it's breaking balls ahead of off speed. Tommy Edman's one of the few guys that gets thrown more off-speed pitches than breaking balls, which is weird because on off-speed pitches this year, he is hitting 389 with a 472 slugging. So he's feasting off of them. And lastly, and probably most impressively, Tommy Edman is swinging at the first pitch in 29% of his plate appearances, which is not a lot, but he had never swung at the first pitch more than 26% in any season of his career entering 2022. And last year he swung at the first pitch 21%. So he's improved that by 8. I don't want to say improved because that's very subjective, but it's gone. He's swinging at the first pitch 8% more. And when he swings at the first pitch this year, he's batting .571 with an 1143 slugging percentage in, I believe, 54 plate appearances. That 1143 slugging ranks second among the 247 hitters with at least 100 plate appearances, and he is it's impressive. So Tommy Edman has been going up there. It's interesting because he's either going up swinging and doing well, or he's working at bat and also doing well.
Yeah, very conflicting, but very good. Tommy Edman. Also my player to watch, so it's an indirect victory lap, but I'll take it for sure. My player to highlight is related to baseball royalty, Mike Yastrzemski, noted 2020 NL MVP candidate, sort of like very funny, but he's definitely played up to that level in his last 24 games, as in those last 24 games he is hitting .363 with a 1066 OPS out of 208 batters with 90 plus plate appearances since April 20. Fun date. Yastrzemski's OPS ranks 8th, and his weighted runs created plus ranks 7th out of those 208. and his on-base percentage ranks 4th. Out of 258 batters with 50-plus batted balls since April 20, his expected WOBA ranks 14th, which is top 6%. And just overall in the year, he's been excellent. His average exit velocity is in the 95th percentile. His expected WOBA is in the 94th percentile. Walk rate in the 91st percentile. Whiff rate in the 84th. And his chase rate is in the 98th percentile.
Wow.
His whip rate has gone from 24.2% in 2021 to 18.1% this year. And his chase rate went from 23% down to 17.6%. Out of 181 qualifiers, Mike Yastrzemski has the 8th and 10th biggest drops in chase rate and whiff rate, respectively. So he's been one of the biggest improvers at making contact and also not swinging at balls. Along with that, he has also seen a 7.2% increase in zone contact percentage, which is the 5th highest increase out of those 181 qualifiers. So Mike Yastrzemski, he's seen the ball a lot better, being very good at pitch selection, and when he chooses to swing at the ball, he's making very good contact. First of all, he's making contact, and the contact is very good. He's 95th percentile on average exit velocity, and made great strides this year. So Mike Yastrzemski getting a very well-deserved.
Absolutely.
So now we'll go from the highs to the lows. We're talking players or subjects that have been underperforming. And now for our Friday, May 27, 2022 edition of Slightly Alarming. And one thing I forgot to mention is we're recording as of Friday. This might actually be coming out on Saturday. So,
Yes.
Forgive us if these stats are one day delayed, but it was true when we said it. It was true when we said it. So, Daniel, who's your slightly alarming?
My slightly alarming is someone who, over the last couple of years, has been a perennial superstar player that hasn't really been gotten it going lately. He recently came back from an injury. It's Byron Buxton, and he is, since April 26th, that is just over a month now, he is slashing 134 with a 217 OBP, 329 slugging, which is pretty good considering the rest of that, and a 547 OPS. Both of his average and OBP rank dead last among the 170 qualifiers over that sample. And before April 26th, he had an average exit velocity of 97.8 miles an hour, which obviously that was never going to be sustainable, but it is all the way down to 90.4, which is closer to where he was back in pre-2020 when he was on the cusp of becoming looked at as I don't want to say failed top prospect, but someone who never really reached their potential.
Yeah.
He's particularly struggled in this sample against sliders, changeups, and cutters. He's had 30 plate appearances in this stretch that have ended in those 3 pitches, and he is batting .049 against them with an .073 slugging. Both of those rank dead last among the 158 hitters with at least 25 batted balls against those 3 pitches in the span. So the book is out on Byron Buxton. He struggles right now against cutters, changeups, and sliders. If you're a pitcher, you almost certainly have at least one of those, maybe 2, maybe 3. It's going to be interesting to see how he can adjust to this.
Yeah, Byron Buxton. My slightly alarming, was a top prospect very, very recently, and just had his rookie year last year, and started out the year very well, but has really been, a tale of 2 seasons. I'm talking about Wander Franco, who in his last 19 games is hitting 189 with a 448 OPS. In this span, out of 176 qualifiers, his OPS ranks 7th worst. Out of 133 players with 50-plus batted balls in this span, his expected WOBA is 10th worst. So it's not complete bad luck. He's expected to be doing, 10th worst out of 133. Also, before this span, his hard hit rate was a very elite 47.6%. And in this span, it is not very elite, 30.2%. Also, before his average exit velocity was 90.7 miles per hour. And during the span, his average exit velocity is 86.3 miles per hour. A 4.4 mile per hour drop in average exit velocity is a good amount for sure. And overall in the year, and I don't know if this is necessarily a problem. I feel like he's always had this approach, but maybe it's kind of biting him a little bit right now. But overall in the year, he has the third lowest pitches per plate appearance out of 174 qualifiers. And also his chase rate is in the 19th percentile. So what that's telling me is, if you're not seeing a lot of pitches and you have a high chase rate, you're not selecting the best pitches. And I feel like maybe that potentially has always been his approach. And sometimes it works. Like you look at a guy like Rafael Devers, I think he has a pretty high chase rate and doesn't see a lot of pitches when he hits, but he does very well. But with Wander Franco, it might not be working out right now as, if you're seeing the third least amount of pitches, and you're chasing at a very bad rate, you could be, not selecting the best pitches, especially like a young guy like him who hasn't seen a lot of major league pitching yet. Maybe needs to be a little more patient, but I am not his hitting coach, so I won't go out and diagnose things, but those are the stats. Wander Franco getting a all right, so that does it for players to highlight for good and bad reasons. I guess we'll get into a preview of the weekend ahead. Yeah, we have some series. The best series to watch, in my opinion, would be Rays Yankees at Tropicana Field. Although sometimes it can get depressing to watch those Tropicana Field games because it feels very empty, and there's just the distant cowbells sometimes, which can get annoying. So it just feels weird to watch a televised Tropicana Field game. But the competition will be great, as it is the top two teams in the American League East, best division in baseball. Also, a good matchup will be Cardinals Brewers, also the top two teams in the NL Central. And then some out of division baseball that will be happening is Angels Blue Jays in Anaheim. That should be a good.
Blue Jays took the series opener last night.
Yeah, it started last night, so that should be a good 4-game set. Angels are a team that have been, I guess you could say, under or overperforming, and the Blue Jays maybe a little bit underperforming, at least as of late. All right, so what do you got for some day-by-day matchups?
So tonight, I guess if this is going to release Saturday, these matchups will already happen, but we'll go over anyway. On Friday, Carlos Rodon pitches for the Giants in the opener of Giants versus Reds in Cincinnati. Austin Gomber will pitch for the Rockies against the Nationals. He had a very good outing last time out against the Mets. Garrett Whitlock will be starting tonight for the Red Sox against the Orioles. Chris, you excited for that one?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
interesting.
I'll have my eyes glued to the television.
From your seat in Fenway, right?
From my seat in Fenway, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
We're in the grandstand.
Yes, yeah, there'll be a TV.
Yeah.
Shane Bieber will be facing Alex Fado in Guardians Tigers in Detroit. Carlos Carrasco will be pitching for the Mets against the Phillies at Citi Field. How many times have the Mets and Phillies played each other already?
Well, they've had 9 matchups. Yeah.
Damn, they're playing each other a lot. I mean, I know it's division, but it's only a month and a half into the season.
And they've also been on Sunday Night Baseball 11 times, which I know the math doesn't check out, but
that is how many. There haven't even been 11 Sundays in the season.
Yeah, but they have been on Sunday Night Baseball 11 times.
Yeah. Jameson Taillon will be facing Jeffrey Springs in Yankees Rays in the Trop. I guess I'll save that for matchup of the night. Bailey Ober will be facing Brad Keller tonight in Royals Twins. Royals took the opener last night in Minnesota. Brendan Woodruff versus Dakota Hudson. Dakota Hudson, what a meme.
Yeah, he's a real old timer.
Yeah. Alek Manoah will be facing Chase Silseth tonight in Blue Jays Angels. Chase Silseth, a reliever that's been all right for the Angels. Ryan Pepio, who is a top 100 prospect, will be facing Madison Bumgarner tonight in Dodgers D-backs. Jose Quintana versus Sean Manaea. Jose Quintana has been pretty good this year for the Pirates. Been getting slept on quite a bit. Justin Verlander versus Chris Flexen. Verlander, I believe, is the American League leader in ERA.
Yeah. I believe that's correct.
Surprisingly and unsurprisingly at the same time.
Yeah.
John Gray versus Cole Irvin in Rangers Athletics. Match of the night. I'm pretty sure this is already a match of the night, but we're going to go with it again. In Marlins Braves in Atlanta, Trevor Rogers versus Ian Anderson.
Yeah, a couple of young bucks.
I'm pretty sure I've already had that as the exact match for the night at some point this season.
That's very funny.
But you know what? We're going with it. On Saturday, Nathan Eovaldi will be starting for the Red Sox in the first half of their doubleheader against the Orioles at Fenway. Adrian Hauser versus Matt Liberatore in Brewers Cardinals. Did you see Matt Liberatore and Nolan Gorman were childhood best friends and they made their major league debuts together?
No, I didn't, but
that was very cool.
I can't
wait.
There
was a picture of them in Little League together. They'd made their debuts with the Cardinals on the same day.
I hope they play together for 10 years and we see that on every single broadcast.
Yeah.
I desire that.
That is, yeah. The Cardinals, they become like a perennial playoff team every year. They're always on Sunday Night Baseball, and
yeah,
every single week you got ARR. And these two were. Chad Kuhl will be facing the Nationals against Johan Adon tonight. Johan Adon has been doing a little bit better lately. Tristan McKenzie will be pitching tonight on Saturday for the Guardians against the Tigers. Alex Wood will be pitching for the Giants against the Reds. Sandy Alcantara will be going for the Marlins against the Braves. Tony Gonsolin and Merrill Kelly will be facing each other. Those are two guys that have been going under the radar this year on Saturday. Zach Eflin versus Taijuan Walker in Phillies. Mets. Johnny Cueto will be pitching in the Cubs White Sox game 1 or game 2 of the weekend, I guess. Cubs haven't announced their starter yet. Yusei Kikuchi versus Michael Lorenzen. JT Brubaker versus Joe Musgrove. Jose Urquidy, Logan Gilbert. Matchup of the night comes from Yankees Rays. Garrett Cole versus Corey Kluber.
Ooh,
we got a 2-time Cy Young winner in that matchup, and also Garrett Cole.
I'd be so intrigued if it was 2018.
Yeah, dude.
Already intriguing, but if it was 2018, I would be.
We need more 2014 classics. When we had Wainwright versus Bumgarner the few weeks ago. We need more of that, even though it's understandably pretty rare. On Sunday, you will have Alex Cobb versus Tyler Mahle in Giants Reds at Cincinnati. So Tyler Mahle might struggle. That's okay. Nick Pivetta will be going for the Red Sox against the Orioles. That's a 5-game series, by the way.
Oh yeah,
so that'll be fun.
It ends Monday, right?
It ends Monday because the Red Sox and Orioles were supposed to face each other at Fenway in that first week of the season when games didn't happen. Yeah. Anyway, Kyle Freeland and Josiah Gray will be facing each other in Rockies Nats. Eliza Hernandez and Max Fried will be facing each other in Marlins Braves. A lot of good matchups in that series. Luis Severino versus Shane McClanahan. That is a good one for the family Yankees Rays. Good matchups there. Oh, here we go. We got a 2014 classic in Royals Twins. Zach Greinke versus Sonny Gray.
Oh man, that's so awesome.
You gotta love a 2014 classic.
It's a real treasure to behold, and you can't take them for granted.
No, they're both very different ages considering they're this is that kind of matchup.
Yeah.
But Sonny Gray was very good in 2014, and so was Zach Greinke.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt about it.
Dylan Cease will be pitching in the finale of White Sox Cubs at Guaranteed Right Field. Miles Michaelis will be pitching for the Cardinals in the finale against the Brewers in St. Louis. Dane Dunning versus James Caprillion in Rangers A's at the Coliseum. Frankie Montas pitched amazing for the A's last night. Tyler Anderson versus Zach Davies in the finale of Dodgers Diamondbacks. I know we're unbiased on this show, but go Dodgers in that matchup.
Zach Davies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a slightly alarming on the not even with stats, just in humanity.
Yeah.
This is an interesting matchup. In the finale of Pirates and Padres, Rodney Contreras versus Mackenzie Gore. Those are two very young guys.
Right. I haven't.
Mackenzie Gore has been pretty good, by the way.
Yeah, I've seen, which was surprising because he like took a major dive in the like prospect rankings because he was doing bad in like AAA and AA, but he's recovered for sure.
Yeah. Luis Garcia versus Marco Gonzalez in the finale of Astros Mariners. A lot of good matchups this weekend. Zach Wheeler will be pitching against the Mets on Sunday Night Baseball for the third time this year.
They will. Yes,
and
Mets,
the
Phillies,
matchup,
the best rivalry in sports.
best rivalry involving a New York team. And the matchup of the day comes in the finale of Blue Jays Angels. You have Jose Barrios versus Patrick Sandoval.
Nice. Very good. Very, very good. Well, that'll do it for today's episode. We hope you enjoyed this one. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and want to watch the conversation as it happens, see the view of my Honda CRV, go and check out the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's called Above Replacement Radio. And of course, follow us on social media. Follow me on Twitter at Chris_Gianta, and follow Daniel on both Twitter and Instagram at Daniel_Curran, and follow the show Instagram at Above Replacement Radio for all the show needs. And we hope you enjoyed this one, and we hope to see you next week, where we will be talking all the happenings in Major League Baseball once again. See you then.
This conversation is over.